Hello, my name is Brian. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about my experience with enclomiphene citrate as far as raising my testosterone levels, pros and cons I've noticed throughout the last few months of being on it. Before I get too much into that, I'm going to go ahead and give a disclaimer. This is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor. It should not be taken as medical advice. I did go through an actual clinic and worked with a doctor to get my prescription. I didn't just buy it off some website and start taking it. I got regular blood tests. I still do get blood tests of not only my testosterone levels, but also thyroid hormones, stuff like that as well. So if this seems like something you'd be interested in, definitely talk to a doctor and do it the right way before starting any new medication or exercise plan. So before I go into my personal experience, let's talk a little bit about what enclomiphene citrate is. This medication is a selective estrogen receptor modulator, I think I'm saying that right, which basically just helps raise your testosterone by stimulating your body's natural production of it. For me, the doctor prescribed a 50 milligram dose 3 times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I take it. It's just a pill. It's not a needle. I've been taking it for about 6 months now. My goal going into it was improving some symptoms I had noticed, such as chronic fatigue, just hitting progress walls in my workouts. Just overall, wanted more balanced hormones too. So I didn't really want to hop on straight TRT right away, just through needles, just because I've heard from some of my friends about effects that I wanted to avoid. And at least at the clinic I'm working with, it's a bit more expensive, especially if you're taking with the HCG to prevent some of the symptoms like ball shrinkage and reduce sperm count, that kind of thing. So when I first started taking enclomiphene, there wasn't an immediate difference that I noticed. My doctor did advise me that it usually takes up to 6 weeks to actually notice any sort of difference for many people. So over the first few weeks, I did notice I was a little more energetic throughout the day. My workouts started becoming easier, even my runs and stuff. So it wasn't as drastic as maybe just shooting up straight TRT directly is, synthetic test, but I definitely started noticing positive changes pretty quickly. Now for the blood work side of things, my doctor had scheduled a follow-up test to see where I was at about 6 weeks. So when I first went into the office for a consultation, they had done a blood test, and my overall testosterone level, total test, was sitting at 597, which isn't necessarily bad. It could definitely be better. But much of the testosterone levels also just depends on how you feel personally. Some people are fine with lower levels, but how you're feeling physically and mentally. Some people might feel really good at that level, and some may not. Personally, I didn't feel like it was necessarily an optimal level for me, because I just felt tired day to day and lethargic. So at my 6-week blood work check-in, I had my blood taken again, and I had gone from 597 at the start of the treatment to 1297, which is a massive increase, especially for just using the enclomiphene and not just straight test. But to add some context to that, I was also using some of the supplements like Tonkat Ali and Fedoja agrestis around that time of that test. So I'm sure that affected it as well, because I had my next blood work follow-up 3 months later. For that one, I came up at about 950 total test. So it's a little bit of a drop, but I also wasn't taking those supplements like the Fedoja and the Tonkat for that second test. So about 6 months in now, how do I feel? I will say I rarely feel fatigued. I sleep better. Sleep is improved. I think I've overall leveled out. I've noticed all my lifts have been going up in weight. My cardio is getting easier. I have to constantly step up my game during a workout to feel like I'm being challenged, which is a pretty good problem to have. I haven't had an actual DEXA scan or anything to confirm where I'm at now body fat wise, but I do know my weight has stayed consistent at about 180 to 190. I feel like I've been getting visibly leaner and more muscular, so I'm hoping that I'm burning the fat and just adding more muscle. Overall, I've had a very good experience so far with enclomiphene. I would definitely recommend seeing a doctor and discussing with them if it sounds like something that you'd be interested in. I think there's a lot less side effects compared to just doing straight TRT, and at least for me it's a little bit cheaper, and I'm not a fan of needles, so that's definitely a plus to having it in that pill form. But everyone's different. Your experience may be different than mine, but I hope that this video helped and gave some insight into what it's like. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And yeah.